I'm Aiden.
I'm Paul.
And this is the Egg Cannon. Welcome to Aiden's Workshop. I've got an exciting video for you today. In this experiment, we investigate the science of protein-based ballistics. Now, let's get right into the video. I'm sure you've all heard of the egg drop experiment. You take an ordinary egg, build some kind of contraption to protect it, and drop it from a tall height, hoping it lands without cracking. However, that experiment is lame. If it were actually cool, instead of just dropping an egg from a high point, you would launch the egg from the ground, get it to that high point, and have it come back down safely. The egg would have to survive both the launch and the impact, making it twice as hard. And so that is exactly what we are going to do today. I call it the Reverse Egg Drop Challenge. The goal? Launch an egg as high as possible and have it return to the ground without cracking.
All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
You might remember 2 videos ago I showed you how to make black powder at home, and I said you could do a lot of fun things with it. Well, this is one of them. Shooting objects out of a pipe. In the past, I've shot things like rubber balls and firework stars out of a PVC pipe clamped to a bucket of water, and that was the plan again today. But this time, we would be shooting an egg out of it. The first step was to find a PVC pipe with an internal diameter just larger than an egg. When the black powder combusts, you want the gas to build up pressure and push the egg out, which means that the egg needs to make a seal in the tube. Next step was gluing an end cap on the bottom and drilling a hole for the fuse to go in. At this point, I realized I actually have a firework mortar that was the perfect size for an egg, and it already had a base, so we just decided to use it instead of the PVC pipe. But if you want to try this at home, know that you can make it out of a PVC pipe.
We can see those chopsticks now in the air.
After the egg is launched in the air, it has to come back down safely. So we decided to make parachutes for the eggs. We cut some different shapes into plastic grocery bags, tied strings to them, and then taped the strings to the eggs. We ran some tests to see if the parachutes could slow down the eggs enough to have them land on the grass without breaking. And the results were questionable.
And failure is, of course, I guess, an inevitable condition of success.
At this point, 2 questions were still up in the air. Would black powder immediately scramble the egg when it was launched? And would the parachute slow down the egg enough for it to land without breaking? We decided to answer the first question by launching an egg with no parachute. To make a tight seal in the mortar, we wrapped the egg in a flame-resistant party streamer. Having the egg tightly in the tube will allow the black powder to build up more pressure and shoot the egg even higher. Once the egg was wrapped, we put a spoonful of black powder down the barrel, put the fuse in the bottom, put the egg in the barrel, and rammed it all the way down to the bottom, being careful to not break the egg with the rod. Here are the first results.
Oh my gosh.
Quite surprisingly, the egg did not explode when the black powder ignited. I think the reason for this is that the expanding gas provides equal pressure to the entire bottom surface of the egg, so it's able to force it upward without breaking it. Now that we know we can get the egg up without it breaking, we need to get it down without breaking. So we attached the parachute to the egg and loaded the barrel. This time, we added a piece of foam under the egg to try to prevent the parachute from burning. Here is what happened.
Not worked.
Got pretty burned.
As you can see, the parachute was following the egg. However, the parachute was completely burned and did not slow down the egg at all. We needed a way to launch the egg without burning the parachute. So on the next test, we put the parachute on the outside of the mortar.
I feel good about this one. All right. That did not work.
On launch number 4, we made another slight improvement.
All right, this time the parachute is wrapped in one layer of streamer, so the streamer might fall off in the air and then the parachute will deploy, but we'll see now. That was pretty good though.
That was pretty good.
Honestly, not the worst one. That pretty much worked, other than it wasn't wrapped tightly enough in it.
For launch number 5, we tried the same thing, but this time we wrapped the egg in more party streamers so it would build up more pressure and go even higher. We also made a fresh parachute for this last test.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, that worked. That worked as good as it's gonna work. Ooh. 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 Ooh.
After careful consideration of how to pack a parachute and realizing we don't know how, and if we did, it'd still burn up anyways because the gunpowder, we're just gonna launch the eggs into the air and see what happens. Maybe we'll try and catch them.
Looking back at the original goal, the only requirement was to get as high as possible without breaking the egg, which means any way to get the egg down safely is fine. So, instead of attaching a parachute to the egg, we were going to simply catch the egg. The first thing we did was launch the egg with more black powder and a tighter seal to see how hard it would be to catch it.
Oh, it's up here. It's up there.
The egg went pretty far from the launch site, so we made sure the mortar was positioned as vertical as possible. Then, I grabbed a towel so I could catch the egg between my arms, and we were ready for the first attempt.
Hey! Oh!
The first attempt at catching the egg was an unexpected success. It did fall out of the towel when I caught it, but it still didn't break when it hit the grass. Keep in mind that this is a raw egg. It has not been boiled. If we measure the time between launch and landing, we can make an estimate of the height of its apex using this equation, derived from the kinematic equation. With a total time of 3.46 seconds, the maximum height was around 48 feet, which was the new record. After that first monumental success, we shot the egg again to see if it was a fluke.
Oh, run, 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 run!
We loaded up the barrel to do one last attempt, and then this happened.
Alright, that's launching. That's it. Looks like you're not catching this one.
The egg got stuck and was broken by the rod, so we just decided to launch the last one without trying to catch it. In the end, we did succeed in beating the reverse egg drop challenge, and our record was 48 feet. We learned that a raw egg does not break when it is shot out of a firework mortar, but our parachutes were not good enough to slow the egg's descent. In the future, I would recommend trying larger parachutes, maybe out of a flame-resistant material. If you try the reverse egg drop challenge yourself, let me know, I would love to see it. But that's it for today. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.